right, how's everybody doing here? 11:30, about halfway through the day here. I think at like 11:45 is like the actual middle, but it's where we are. Um, I'm gonna go through the Mag 7 here because we see what we see. All right. Um, we went into the abyss again this morning here to the downside, and they seem to be uh, just a tad better, and I mean just a tad. All right, but what I really want to talk about is the weeks. All right, I'm going to look at the weeks. We're going to kind of focus on that. As you can see, your day here, Nvidia is trying to fight back. It's stuck in there in the day right now. All right, so getting a little bit better here. And we had these 312s that went up, okay, on Nvidia, and it's looking to take that two back up. They're firming up here. They're firming up on the day and the hour. We are not moving the week in the month, okay? And for us to really get some skin in the game, we're gonna need to get the week going on, okay? So that's why we're gonna look at the week. All right, so here's our week right now, wicked up on both sides, okay? Um, and to get outside of that, we're gonna have to. Well, I guess we could get through there. Looks like I'd say they're gonna have to get back up to one. Is that 194? All right, 194.50. If we're down here, okay, and that would be our. I can even cheat that one and bring it back into what 190.08. All right. So from how we going to get from 175 to 190.08? That's the question, right? Well, the first thing that we're going to do, what do we talk about? We talk about actionable signals. We talk about things that are shooters. We talk things that are hammers, and we talk about stocks and things that go inside. All right, and those three things are what we focus on to get things to move our way and to let's how do we say use it to guide us. All right, to the way. All right, so this week here, now we're going to finish this week tomorrow. More than likely, I mean, unless this thing goes up and takes that back out or something like that, which could happen. They are better today. I like this 312, and I'm going to focus on these. And this is the reason why I kind of wanted to talk about them. So you got this 312 up here. Now it's kind of stalling out here, and I expect that because you still got really nasty month and you got nasty week, and your day is trying to get back into the game a little bit. All right, so this is weak. All right, this is extremely weak here, and then I can now you can see it, and there's your 60s right now. Okay, there's that 312 up, and now here we are stalling out. All right, so. What's it going to take? It's going to take these dailies and these 60s. All right, the 60s and the dailies are going to push us, and we're going to be watching for this Nvidia to start to rise up from the low of the week. All right, so again, now we're going to finish this week here tomorrow. We're not going to get unemployment numbers, so there's not going to be too much of a shake up there. I don't think there's. We got Michigan consumer sentiment tomorrow, so that could possibly do something, but without the and then we got some consumer credit numbers coming out. I don't think that shakes out too much either. It could though, but that number doesn't come until like 2 p.m. in the afternoon. All right. But so Michigan consumer sentiment is probably the biggest thing that we got going tomorrow. All right. So again, we're going to watch our 60s. This is a nice 312. So this is what's the first thing that has to happen is that this cannot triangle back out. Okay. So we look for these 312 patterns. Okay. So we got this nice 312 up now. It could easily just Because we know that they're garbage, right? Because of this and because of this. All right. More importantly than anything, even the freaking quarter looks better than anything else. Okay, the quarter looks pretty good with the insider. All right, so this guy and this guy is your big problem. All right, so more than likely we're gonna be a one going in on Monday, on next Monday. Okay, so then what are we gonna have? We're gonna have an actionable signal. Okay, so we're gonna see how things shake up. So we're looking what we're looking to find here is an insider that can give us, it would be nice if we could stay inside for an entire week and then let it consolidate for a while, and then that would be good. And if as long as they don't come in and triangle it back down, all right. So for NVIDIA, this is where we're going to be. We're going to be inside there, and then we'll be looking for hammers that start to, and then we're also looking for shooters coming back down because we still got this here, okay? So this is still heavy, all right? So anything that anything that, because we don't have full time frame continuity right now, okay, because of the day, all right? So it's kind of like mixing things up, and that's the reason why I wanted to talk about them. All right, so we're going to come back inside tomorrow or Monday, and we're going to be somewhere inside here. Okay, how we start to form there in the first couple days is going to be important. Monday, but Monday, Tuesday, and then we see how this thing starts to shape up. Okay, now if we start to see some hammers start to forming, we're still waiting mode, right? We're still waiting in mode because that will be moving. If that's the case and we start to move up, we're going to start to get some. So see this magnitude here on the low of last month? That's our first target for this guy coming back up. Okay, so 177.35. That gets us moving slowly at a time. Okay, but turns around. These things can move fast, and it can happen really quick too. All right, so I'm kind of talking in this in a mode of saying that it's probably going to be a little bit more different than that, unless something really comes out and they pop. Then that's a different animal altogether. But I just don't see that. All right, so anywho, we're going to look for a new bar here on Monday, and we look for a hammer starting to grow inside there. All right, if it stays inside, I think it's better. For me, I like it better because it consolidates and it sits, and then it can find its way. All right, so see if that can move there. So NVIDIA, and again, I think we're focused on the only bar I'm going to really focus on these is going to be the week. All right, because the week is going to get us there. All right. Not a daily. All right, and then let's look at Google. All right, Goog. Goog, same thing here. Goog's different completely altogether. We're an outsider here now. We did get up to 350.15, and I don't know if that gets us to our all-time high on this bar on this week. All right, so interesting enough, how are we going to triangle this around? Well, we're going to look for the same things we just talked about, right? We're going to look for those magnitudes that come back up. So the first one here for us is going to be here on the monthly. All right, so we need to get back up into this area here at 342.08, and that's going to bring us back into here. 342.08 is going to bring us right into this area right here. All right, so we're going to be, and then we'll look for the 3-1 coming back inside there. Okay, and again, we're looking for hammers. Shooters could develop, things could fall apart, and they could come back down. But that's why we watch the week, because if we go in there and willy-nilly on a 60 or a daily, probably going to get chopped up. All right, so we're going to be patient with it. All right, so we're looking for this. We're looking for this 3-1-2 like we got right here today. See the 2-1-2 that we had here on the 60. So boom, that's kind of holding. It's chopping out. again, we don't want this to triangle back out. If that starts to happen and we got shooters coming back down, we know to stay away. Okay, so Google, better, a little bit better there. Again, the 212 we had, and now you got an outside weak on that one too. All right, so watch that one. Apple's been strong. I gotta say, I mean, there's still green on the month here. I'm looking for continuation here on Apple, but if the group is going to go down, and that's what's happening today, Apple's getting pushed today down just because the rest of the rest of the group has been coming down. All right, so the Mag 7 a little heavy today, and you're not going to escape it. All right, so Apple's getting this pulled back because of what's going on with the markets here today, and the Nasdaq really who dropped real big time today, got down to 24,543, and now we're back all the way back up here to 24,800. So we've had a nice turnaround here, and that's the reason why I wouldn't just be talking about these, but this is a pretty good move back to the upside from the lows here. All right, and the Qs have been super heavy. All right, so we'll wait and see. On Apple, I think Apple's ripe, and then we're going to be looking for a 2-2 back up on the week if everybody is on sync. All right, they all got to go, and I think that Meta, believe it or not, I think Meta seems to be the leader. So I think Meta's the one that we kind of want to follow the lead a little bit. I like Apple better, but I think that Meta's the bigger one. All right, I think Meta's the one. All right, so when we move over to Meta, this one's kind of really messy too here. You got that, but you have an actionable. All right, so that's the first thing. That's the first one we've seen on that so far. All right, so stuck inside on the month now is completely different animal. All right, so 2-1 here. So first thing we got to do is we got to triangle out the month. Okay, right there at 722.82. All right. 722.82. That brings us back up in here into the wick. All right, so that would look to take, if we got there, then we would take week up. Now we're gonna get this same setup here. Today it was the shooter down 60, and then you got the 222 back up. So they are leading right now. They were the first one that took the 60 up, and they seem to be holding. I'm watching them right now, and I see NVIDIA falling apart again here, but they're still going to be choppy. They're still going to be doing their thing, but that's why we're gonna open our position through the weekly, not through the daily, and not through the 60. All right, we're gonna find a way to get in through the week. All right, so that's we're gonna keep an eye on things. All right, so 722.06, we need to triangle out that first, and if we get through there, then we're in a better spot. We get through tomorrow. We'll wait and see what happens, and then going into next week. I'm not saying that they're going to just turn around next week and they're going to start going. The week is going to tell us. If we start to see these shooters falling apart, then we know that they're reconfirming. Because if they're red, and if you got a red month and you're getting shooters coming down, that's reconfirming that it's going lower. Okay, so we'll watch out for that. I think Meta is the leader, though. All right, look at this. There you go. Nobody else is doing this right now on the 60s, okay? So there's your Meta. Amazon, I think, got a little bit better here today, too. Another one here, it triangled out pretty good. I mean, look at this. With the 2-2 down and the gapper down day, I mean, Amazon's been beat up pretty good. All right, from, we're coming down from 246, and we got all the way down to 219. All right, so here we are stuck, really, I mean, garbage day here. It's flickering between red and green right now. All right, so it's a hammer. I'm not crazy about it, but and here's our week. All right, week is not going to be able to go outside unless tomorrow we get up through 247.99. That is not going to happen. All right. So what the first thing we got to do? We got to triangle out the month again. All right. We got to go back to the month and say, where does that bring us to? 246.21. All right, that's still going to be a grab for us. That's coming all the way back up into this area. So we're gonna get a new we'll get a new bar on Monday, and we'll see what shakes out when it comes out on Monday. Monday, Tuesday will be the first 2 days. We'll keep a focus on that, because then usually Wednesday's like the daybreaker for the week. It could either guide us or it could fall on us. All right, so we'll watch it. Wednesday, I think, will be the pivotal day. All right, and all through on all 7 of these. All right, so we'll take a look at there. All right, so just here trying out this month is going to be very difficult because we're sitting down here. All right, so this is tough one. This is tough for us to, but getting inside and then maybe sitting for a week. Oh man, if they all got inside and stayed inside for a week, I'd be happy, because then we got some consolidation, and then maybe then they can start to move. Okay, so there's Amazon, and there's still a long ways away, guys. All right, Tesla, just fell apart here the last couple days. Right, it finally broke. And now we're putting up a nice hammer on the day here, coming back. So Tesla's fighting back pretty good here. Already back to 400. We were like begging to get 414, and it brought us all the way down to 387. All right, but she's turning around. She's fighting back pretty strong. All right, so 2122. This cannot be triangled out on the 60s. This is gonna guide us. Okay, on these 60s right here. All right, we'll see how today finishes, and we'll see what shakes out. First thing there on the month is you got to have to get back up, and that's 427. That is that's $26 away. All right, so we're going to come inside on the new week here, unless we're not going to. I don't see us going back up there before the end of this week. All right. Even if we get back into this 410, 414, that's a good area for us. That was a support level that got broken, and right now that's our resistance number. So that resistance number can become our support number if things transpire that way. All right, so gonna have to triangle out the month. That's 427. That's gonna take a lot of work. We're gonna come back inside in the week, and we're gonna be looking for actionable signals, ones that stay inside, and hammers that go up, and shooters that go down, and shooters that go down tell us that we're reconfirming going to the downside. All right, so hammers will give us signals that things are going better. All right, so we'll see what happens there. Teslas. Microsoft just got murdered. What's to say, man? Just really got crushed here. Grandpa, man, he's just been beat up real bad. This one's probably going to be the most difficult of anything here. Just how to triangle out this month to 430. That's $26. If things heat up, they'll get there fast. Okay, but we'll see about that. Okay, so this one probably with the 3-2 down is going to be our most difficult stock, obviously, because it's taken the biggest hit to the downside. But the first thing that is showing us today is a nice hammer on the day. All right, even though it's red, that's a hammer going back up. All right, let's see if we can hold that. All right, and then that puts us, a little cozier inside the month, but the month we're sitting right off of the low on the month right now. All right, so with the 3-2 down here, we're definitely going to be coming inside here, and this one right here, if this starts to triangle us back out, this sets us back by this move back to the downside here, that sets us back a whole nother week. All right, game's over. All right, we just wait and see. We look for shooters to go down, because we could reconfirm that we want to be shorting Microsoft and continuing to the downside. I like the hammer today. Let's see how the day finishes on that one. Microsoft. All right, which one did I miss here? I talked about NVIDIA. Did I talk about Google? Yeah, I did talk. Google's outside on the week. So I'm going to recap here real quick. There's your outsider. All right, so we talk about the 3-2-2 up. All right, but we're stuck in the middle here, red. So we talked about it. You know what's going on there. All right, which one? I thought I talked about all of them here. NVIDIA, Google, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, and Meta. All right. So I'm going to leave it there. 20 minutes, way too long to talk. All right. So at that moment, I'm going to let it go. And we'll see what the rest of the day brings. I'll probably give you a recap at the end. All right. Everybody, be good. Be good.